Before we get into our top 5 DVDs that have never made the jump to Blu-ray or 4K, make sure you subscribe to us, like the video, and click the notification button.
So Russ, today we're going to go through our top 5 DVDs that have yet to make the jump to Blu-ray. These are just based on what I personally own, not movies that are out there on DVD that haven't made the jump to Blu, and some ones that we really wish would at some time soon so we could buy them. These are movies that we personally own that have never made it to Blu, therefore we've never upgraded, and this is all we've ever gotten. Russ, do you want to start?
Sure, Matt. I am going to begin with the Warren Beatty, Annette Bening, and Barry Levinson film Bugsy.
Bugsy, never seen it.
I'm a fan of this film. It's a little dramatic, breezy gangster story about Bugsy Siegel and his dream to build a casino in Las Vegas. I'm baffled as to why this is not on 2K, Blu-ray, 4K, anything, because not only did this DVD happen, we also got a 2-disc special edition DVD that happened. So where's the upgrade?
Right.
I mean, this is a classic looking film. It's shot beautifully. Barry Levinson is no slouch. I don't understand, and I would pick it up day one.
How is Warren Beatty in this?
He's good, man. I'm a Warren Beatty guy.
Are you? I was going to ask. I don't know that
I'm a fan of Warren Beatty.
I was trying to think in my head when you were talking there about a Warren Beatty movie that I really like what movie I like him in a lot. I mean, I don't think I've only ever seen Dick Tracy, to be honest.
Oh, dude. Bonnie and Clyde.
Hit me with some. Maybe I'm just missing.
Shampoo is fantastic. Bulworth.
I
love Warren Beatty. He's just like the coolest fucking dude in the room.
No. I just thought maybe there was somebody you hadn't fucked.
He's kind of goofy in a way, but just like suave, man.
He's a good leading man.
He is. He's a great leading man.
And were him and Annette Bening married?
I believe they still are to this day.
I was going to say, are they married? They're together, right?
Yeah, and that's impressive because he ran through damn near all Hollywood. And
he's a handsome dude.
Annette Bening tamed the beast.
Why don't you run outside and jerk yourself a soda?
And this has never made it to Blue.
Never made it to Blue.
Never made it to Blue.
Any country. The releases that I'm focusing on, any region, globally, never.
Oh, so yours have never made it anywhere.
Made it to Blu-ray or 4K anywhere in the world.
So my pile is a little bit more US based in some scenarios. Some scenarios never Blue, some scenarios it has been released elsewhere. My first one then is the Dimension Extreme Inside Unrated Edition.
Good choice.
So this movie is called Inside. It's a French film. I don't know how to pronounce the official French title, but when it was released in America on this Dimension Extreme DVD, it was titled Inside. This is one of the most wild horror movies I've ever seen. It's definitely very tense. It's very eerie. It's a very trippy story. I know, Russ, you've seen it before as well.
I almost chose it in mine, but I actually thought you were going to go with this one, so I hold on.
Yeah, I mean, I like to show this movie to really anyone that has not seen this before. It's based around a pregnant woman, so it's also really cool to show this to anyone that you know that is pregnant. It's a story about her alone at night in her house. It's the eve of before her being induced for labor. It's also Christmas Eve, and she's just by herself, and all of a sudden there's a strange knock at the door, and there's someone out there that is trying to get in because they want the baby that is inside of her. And this movie is nuts. It is crazy from here on out. It is, like I said, it starts off really spooky and eerie, and then it just gets ultra violent, ultra gory. Like, I felt like at times in some movies, like, man, that was too much, or that was over the top. Even though this is over the top, I for some reason never felt like it was too much. It felt like right on the nose for what the material was and what they were trying to get at. So,
well, one thing I like about it, it's sustained, and it's all in basically one location.
One house,
so I think that helps with what you're talking about. It's
They make
has a great ending. I love the last shot of the movie. Another fun fact: my wife refuses to watch this movie. Will not watch it. I try to get her to watch it all the time.
It's a crazy, crazy movie. I, again, recommend it to anyone. So we've never gotten this in Blu-ray in the United States. There have been a couple of really cool foreign releases. I forget the country off the top of my head, but there was 3 digibooks that all came out, 3 different covers, an A and a B and a C version. And they were really, really nice, but there was only 500 or so of each one of those. They were since sold out, and I can't even find them on eBay, so that was the only opportunity.
You know what I was disappointed by when they did that terrible American remake that I never watched?
They did.
I was hoping, that typically happens, that they would put out this on a well, I guess at that time, maybe just Blu-ray.
Yep.
But it didn't happen. I was always baffled by that.
Me too. Again, extreme French horror on the Dimension Extreme label. Definitely recommend this to anyone. Get this in blue, please. Someone put it out.
For my second selection, I am going with the cult comedy Freddy Got Fingered, written, directed, and starring Tom Green.
He fingers him.
Why this does not have a Blu-ray release is beyond me. This film has so much cult love. It grows in stature. I feel like every year. It is hilarious. It is an anti-film.
Never seen this either. Love Tom Green when he was out, though. Love, big fan of the show.
I've never seen, and when you analyze this movie, I can't recall another time where someone who is a rising star who has clout is given a big budget from a major studio to make your stamp in the cinema world, and you choose to make this movie. Holy shit.
It's fucking stupid.
And I'm not joking. It is funny. When you go into this movie knowing what it is, which is just fucking with you, with the audience, with everyone, it's offensive. It's, dude, a great soundtrack, great punk rock soundtrack.
Did they give him another chance after that? Since you said this is his first chance and this is what he did? That was it?
What did he go on
I don't know.
to do?
Did he?
Nothing.
I can't remember if he did anything else.
I wish I was dead! Oh!
Everyone in it, even beyond Tom Green, Rip Torn as the father is so hysterically offensive and over the top. Anthony Michael Hall is hilarious in this, in the small amount of screen time he receives. I could go on and on about this. Tom Green attended the Razzies to collect his awards and give speeches. Dude, if you're a fan of this movie, you're a super fan of this movie, this would sell. I wish some boutique label would pick this up and just give it the justice it deserves. Like, come on, get it done. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Freddy Got Fingered. Wow.
Freddy Got Fingered.
Well, next up for me is Eagle vs. Shark. So this is a movie that has been released on Blu-ray, but in Australia, starring Jermaine Clement, who is best known probably for Flight of the Conchords, but he's since been in a ton of other stuff. This is a movie that was written and directed by Taika Waititi, who is also now a huge Marvel director, but also a big part of Jermaine and that whole Flight of the Conchords duo. They've obviously been around together for a long time, and this was a movie that they had done as well. So I was a fan of Flight of the Conchords for a little while, and I'd never heard of this movie, and it's basically a kind of movie that's in that exact same type of universe. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, it's silly, it's, all that kind of stuff. I would say that this movie has a little bit more, I don't want to say edge, but maybe it's darker in tone than the whole of than the whole of Flight of the Conchords.
It's not dark, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's
like,
darker than What We Do in the Shadows. It's darker than Hunt for the Wilder
the
People.
theme of it.
Even Jermaine, I feel like there's more bite. He's not as lovable.
This is typical. No one even thinks about me.
It's because you're a loser.
You're a loser, bitch.
Cockhole.
Bitch.
Cockhole.
Bitch.
Cockhole.
Bitch.
Cockhole.
Stop calling me cockhole, bitch.
Cockhole.
You're a bitch, and you're gonna die of diabetes.
The comedy is still there, but who he's playing, like you said, he's not a silly character. He's not as lovable. He's actually is kind of a jerk the whole movie.
Yeah.
His character is kind of a jerk, and the main character of this film is the lead actress, who her name is Lauren Horsley, who I'd never seen in anything before, and she's the awkward, uncomfortable one that's in this movie, and is the one that you're kind of rooting for in a way to kind of be like a butterfly out of the cocoon, and he's sort of this jerk that she's sort of enamored with, and he doesn't really care for her too much, but you still have that underlying Flight of the Conchords style comedy that's underlying Taika Waititi comedy and direction style.
You sucker. You better watch out, you fool. Yay, fool. Sucker. You foolish sucker.
Better what?
Hello?
Hello, is Eric there, please?
Speaking.
So ultimately, it's really good. They just never put this out on Blu-ray. I would, again, recommend this to anyone that likes that kind of humor. Eagle vs. Shark.
Now, for my next selection, I have subjected you to sit through this one before.
Okay.
Again, worldwide, no Blu-ray, no 4K, is the Todd Solondz masterpiece, Happiness.
Happiness. I have seen this one.
Thanks to me. For the uninitiated, this movie is a one big satire on yuppie white people and what goes on underneath the front Not for the faint-hearted. This is a comedy that goes into very lurid subject matter.
Comedy?
That deals with child molestation, dogs consuming semen, you know, all family stuff.
I'm not laughing at child molestation. Laughing at, I said, this is a comedy, and then those are the things that it deals with.
And for me, it works because it sticks to the tone. It sticks to it. It doesn't shy away. It doesn't give up and try to, no, this is, we're sticking with this material, and we're going to present it to you in this way. The cast is incredible. Philip Seymour Hoffman, one of the greats. John Lovitz has a great scene-stealing intro.
That was my favorite part.
I'm champagne.
I kind of understand why this doesn't get some big release, but for my money, this is a great film that is hilarious and well worth an upgrade. If it came out, I would pick it up day one.
So my next film is the Spanish language Chronicus, or Chronicus, I'm not sure. This is a movie starring John Leguizamo. This is an incredible thriller, an awesome drama, and John Leguizamo nails it. And I've been a big John Leguizamo fan for a really long time. This is a movie about a small town in South America where John Leguizamo is kind of like a sleazy scumbag news reporter. And there is a child predator who's like kidnapping children and molesting them and then killing them, is like on the loose. And they catch this guy. And the whole movie is kind of like, is he the guy or is he not the guy? Is he the one that's doing this or is he not? And it seems like he really is the guy because of all this evidence, but then all this other stuff comes to light that makes it seem like, well, maybe he's not. And John Leguizamo is reporting on this story, interviewing this man, sending, you know, doing little TV show snippets and so forth throughout. And it's kind of like his experience through it, his experience going from this scumbag kind of guy to maybe sort of figuring out his own self and maybe a little bit more self-worth in what he's doing and trying to do something for the greater good. This is an awesome movie. And again, probably the first time I'd ever seen John Leguizamo in a completely all Spanish language film. So it was interesting to see him act in not only a dramatic role, but maybe in more of his native tongue, which I've never really seen or heard before. The subject matter is really interesting. And again, it concludes very well. So Chronicus, Russ, if you've never seen this, I would recommend it. Any John Leguizamo fans out there, definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I've not seen it, and I'm a big Leguizamo fan as well. My next one, number 4. This one is ripe for Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, any boutique label that does sort of horror comedy schlock that put out these nice special editions. And I'm going to go with Beyond the Seventh Door. Have you ever heard of this one, Matt?
No.
If you have not heard of this one, imagine Tommy Wiseau's The Room mixed with an escape room.
Yeah.
So less of a budget. Literally, the actor in this film, the main character, there are 2 characters, a man and a woman. Kind of odd. None of it really makes sense, but it is so funny. And the whole story is they're trapped in this mansion and like they're stuck in a room. They have to figure out how to get out of that room. Then they're in another room and they have to figure out how to get out of that room.
It's hopeless.
And when did this movie come out?
This movie came out in 1987. I believe it was in Canada. And it's notorious for being terrible, schlocky, unintentionally funny, which to me, this is just a great comedy. And I'm telling you, if you've never seen this and you like movies such as The Room, Miami Connection, check this out. And please give us a Blu or 4K release of this. I'm begging you.
That looks like a film that somebody should have, and it's supposed to be a horror movie, I take it. Like, why hasn't, I mean, I see a skeleton hand on the cover. I mean,
Come on, Boris. Give me a break.
so my next feature here that I'm hoping for one day to get a Blu-ray of, and also a recommendation that I would have to anyone out there, is the film Timecrimes. So this is also a Spanish language movie. This movie was done by Nacho Vigalondo, who went on to do that movie with your favorite Anne Hathaway where she's a giant. This movie is really, really cool. So I'm a big fan of sci-fi. I'm an even bigger fan of time travel movies within the sci-fi genre. And this is a time travel / horror movie. Time travel movies can have like a lot of, explanations to do, and you have to kind of like hear some exposition to kind of figure out like what's really going on here. You have to learn a lot of steps about how the time travel scenario works. This movie makes the entire concept a breeze. You're right in the mix very quickly. You can pick up on it fast. Like you understand the flow and how the time travel loop is going. And a man being pursued by a murderer stumbles into a mysterious lab and accidentally travels back in time. And then he saves a girl, and they kind of keep going back through this loop over and over as he's being chased by this person that's on the cover here. I thought it was clever. I thought it was fun, really smart, really entertaining. One of the best time travel movies of all time, says Bloody Disgusting, and I wholeheartedly concur.
So for my number one selection, I am going with one of my favorite films of all time since I was 8 years old. And I'm going with this dumbass snapper case, New Line Cinema House Party.
Wow.
Just like that, huh?
How the hell is this not on Blu-ray, 4K, anything? I mean, this film is beloved. It is a classic. Give me a 3-pack of this, House Party 2, and Class Act, and I'll be happy. But seriously, this movie gets referenced so much. This is classic. How is this not on Blu-ray? I've seen so many interviews where people will ask Kid, ask Play. They love talking about it. Like everyone goes in on the story about how it was initially made for DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. I've heard Kid and Play in separate interviews be open about it, talk about it, go on and on about it. Everyone's still friends.
I cried 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it.
The soundtrack, the battle, the dancing, you could fill up a whole disc of features. So out of every selection that I have chosen for this segment, this one confuses me the most. I feel like this has the widest audience out of everything that I'm pining for, and not even Blu-ray. I would get 4K, but not even Blu-ray for this?
I smell pussy.
I've never seen it.
I have a funny story. When I was in the 3rd grade, I actually designed a permission slip. So when the parents would come to pick up the other kids, I wrote it out. Sign here if you will allow your child to watch House Party. It is rated R, blah, blah, blah. To have this shown at my elementary school in 3rd grade. And I actually... A petition. And I actually got a decent amount of signatures. So this film is near and dear to my heart.
Wow.
Give me the Blu-ray.
Wow.
I love what Roger Ebert said.
What's
and
he
of
saying?
course, it's not on this. The Roger Ebert quote was on the VHS I had as a kid. And it said, it deserves to go down with Ferris Bueller and Animal House as one of the greatest teen comedies ever made. And he's right.
Which I've seen
it has
those,
so
but not
much
this.
It has so much heart. It is fun as hell from beginning to end. It even has great messages for kids.
All right, Russ,
Give
from
it
the
to
heart.
us.
Well, then I guess it's only fitting to show one of my favorite movies of all time, which has not made it to Blue anywhere in US or in the world. And that is I Heart Huckabees. So this is actually in my top 5 of all time, and this is a movie that, again, like you mentioned, this was a 2-disc special edition. It had a ton going on for it, but they never made the jump to Blue, which they gave so much love to it at DVD. Why not for Blu-ray? I don't know. This has got a great cast, including Naomi Watts, Dustin Hoffman, Jason Schwartzman, Jude Law, who I don't really know that I liked or had seen in anything before this.
He's hilarious in this.
He's so good in this. Mark Wahlberg.
I'm a firefighter.
Oh, God bless you. A hero.
I'm not a hero.
Excuse me?
You say you're Christians living by Jesus' principles, but are you?
Yeah, of course we are.
Jesus is never mad at us if we live with him in our hearts.
I hate to break it to you, but he is. He most definitely is.
I feel funny saying this, but he is probably one of the best things in this movie, and he nails it.
Why Mark Wahlberg works in this movie, why he works in Boogie Nights, is because Mark Wahlberg is a dick. And when he plays a dick, even comedically, he's not acting. It's just we buy him in that. And in this, it's
it works.
Beautiful. It's
It
hilarious.
works. Yeah, and he's kind of like a buffoon a little bit. He's lost. I don't know. His take on this character it was really awesome. I don't know if anyone's seen this movie or not. This is a David O. Russell movie who he's also done a lot of films in his career. The Fighter, I think, came shortly after this. American Hustle, Silver Linings Playbook. What came right after this? It wasn't The Fighter.
I think it was The Fighter.
Was it?
Because he took a little break after that. There was a little 4-year gap. I think The Fighter came after that.
This movie really kind of took a little while to simmer with me when I first saw it. It's a comedy on its face, but it actually does have a larger message, and it's a lot deeper than what it seems like it is on the first viewing. I think there's a lot of cool messages in here. It's an existential comedy, as they put it in quotations, because it is a little bit about the meaning of life and that sort of thing. But I think there is a lot to take away from it, and There's a lot that this movie gives on each rewatch. I found like every time I rewatched it that I just really learned, I felt like I learned a little bit more about the plot or the messages of it, or just found new things to love, new characters that I, maybe didn't pay too much attention to the first time I saw it, but now I'm like really honing in on their comedy, little comments they make that you don't notice the first time. It's a little bit quirky. How it was marketed was probably a little strange, and you couldn't really tell what this movie was. When they call it an existential comedy, it's like, what the hell does that mean?
Have you ever transcended space and time?
Time, not space. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly, and I think they were trying to market it to be like a Little Miss Sunshine, and it's better than that in my opinion.
It is. Oh man, this is,
and it's more than that.
Definitely.
The great Shania Twain.
Shania. The great Shania Twain. So many great little bits of humor that get lost on the first watch. So again, if you haven't seen this movie before, I would highly recommend it. If you have seen it before and you weren't really sure what to make of it, watch it again. It's a thrill. So that is my last movie to share, and this has been our top 5 DVDs that we wish would be on Blue.